Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, and it is so good to be back here with you guys, back on Crypto YouTube, as I get ready to actually upload a lot more content. Thank you guys for staying on this show. I guess you could call it like another soft launch, relaunch of the channel, as Renee has kind of suggested here in the chat. What's up, Renee? Happy New Year to all of you guys, especially to the Patreon, YouTube sponsors. You guys make this happen, and you guys are definitely owed a lot more content. So we're just gonna dive right into it as we kick things off here. 2025, I think it's going to be quite a positive year for crypto. So let's take a look. Let's start off with the prices. We got Bitcoin at $95,073.53. It is still below $100,000. It looks like it wants to really break it and stay above it, but it has struggled to do so. I don't think for long, considering how it's held up, but we will see. Ethereum is still under $3,400. It is at $3,391.28. A lot of talk about how Ethereum just isn't keeping pace. Like, should I even bother with it anymore? All of the new retail people are interested in either NFTs, the latest meme coin, or Solana. Why would they care about Ethereum? We're going to be digging into that a little bit and that kind of narrative and whether it's going to be worth holding on to. And we'll look at plenty more. Solana actually is up 1.5% on the day at $196.41. Probably the biggest mover on the day is XRP, up 14.4%. And Lumens, I believe, was up as well. Stellar Lumens, it kind of tracks really nicely with XRP. Oh, there it is, up 30.3% on the day, almost vertical. I'd be scared to buy it right now, but probably get an opportunity from what I'm seeing there to take some profit. Total market caps for cryptos, $3.5 trillion. I remember when we first broke a trillion, and then we fell, just like when we hit $100,000 for Bitcoin and breached it. We fell below it, and we stayed there for a while before coming back with a really strong resurgence over the years. Now at 3.5 trillion, crazy to see. 1,200 exchanges are being tracked here on CoinGecko. Incredible. Bitcoin dominance, 53.7%, and ETH, 11.7%. I think there's something to be noted there. When you look at the dominance up there, you see BTC and you see ETH. And for the most part, that's what you see on most of the more reputable platforms that have been along for a while. You're going to see Bitcoin and you're going to see Ethereum having kind of the most tools and the most setups and the most displays on these websites for a reason. I don't think Ethereum is going away by any means. I think it's going to be very difficult to take the throne. I guess a second in command here, like you're seeing with Ethereum, just like it is very difficult to try to come over Bitcoin, as we've seen coins come close or look like they want to try, but be unable to do that. I think it's going to be very difficult to dethrone here the Ethereum market cap place here, which is right now $409 billion. Bitcoin is almost at $2 trillion. That's crazy. That's insane. So let's go ahead and start looking at some news stuff. Top 5 reasons why Ethereum could take off in 2025. I enjoyed this article here. They consolidated a lot of the reasons as to why you might want to look forward to Ethereum being something to keep in your wallet going forward here. Ethereum could see a huge boost in scalability, security, and user experience with the upcoming Pectra upgrade. Expected to go live right now. Estimates are between April and May, but they're tentative. From what I saw, this is the biggest Ethereum upgrade yet, the most EIPs, Ethereum improvement proposals that are being submitted, and it is the biggest change that we're getting since the merge, the big merge when Ethereum went from proof of work to proof of stake. So a lot of testing. It was originally supposed to come out, I believe, like around November 2024. But as you can see, it's been pushed back for more testing. We don't want to see any major bugs that could cause people to lose money, cause issues with staking or sending. And so that's being tested and discussed to a great deal. So yeah, that could be quite big. It's going to be changing some stuff. We'll look at, I believe I pulled it up here. If I didn't, I will definitely be covering more of this if you guys are interested going forward, what to expect but it's paving the way for another upgrade that's going to be coming up afterwards, hopefully making that upgrade easier to do along with other subsequent upgrades for Ethereum. This is kind of setting the framework there. It's going to change how Merkle trees work to basically make it so that you have smaller proofs that nodes can verify. That way you could update your node quicker. It would increase decentralization. It'll make upgrades to the way that wallets can work on Ethereum. For example, you could batch transactions natively. I imagine a lot of wallets will be integrating this kind of functionality now that it'll be native to Ethereum. So to be able to do things like schedule payments and things like that, which have always been a promise for Ethereum. So that could be really big as far as tooling for Ethereum to set us up in a big way. Also, you're seeing here mentioned that institutional investors are accumulating Ether during dips. So Sentiment had here put together charts that were showing two key metrics that might signal how much appetite, you could say, there is for Ethereum outside of like major exchanges that we know constantly are in flux. It's not really their coins, they're due to the users and so on. So this is really talking about wallets. So the supply held by top non-exchange wallet addresses and the token's top addresses as a percentage of the total supply, they have been increasing during November and December, taking a slight dip recently, but showing that that appetite is definitely strong among the big accumulators there. US spot-based Ethereum ETFs could soon pass on staking yield. So because of regulation that exists here, unlike in places like Canada, those ETFs that are available for Ethereum purchases are not currently able to accrue staking rewards. So imagine that the Ethereum that is being held by these ETFs is just sitting there and not getting that sexy yield that you could be getting had they created a node out of it and then pass that on to holders of that ETF. That currently is not possible, but it might be possible coming up soon. I believe that's covered right here. It's talking about this new Trump 2.0 crypto-friendly SEC and that ETH staking yield may be coming soon. So this is from Bernstein Research. The ETH ETF approval excluded the ability of asset managers to offer the underlying ETH yield to ETH ETF holders due to regulatory limitations. ETH staking yield will likely be approved under this new Trump 2.0 crypto-friendly SEC in a declining rate environment as we see bond yields going down. ETH currently yields about 3%, and ETH today can be quite attractive as those come down. As blockchain activity surges, as indicated by recent activity, we think ETH yield can juice up further to 4 to 5% at elevated activity levels. We're definitely seeing more on-chain demand recently. Like if you guys saw when we first started this video on the top, the gas is no longer like a paltry 14 gwei. It's now up to 32. So that's showing more demand right now for blockchain space and bidding for that. The ETH yield feature in ETFs would also leave some spread for asset managers, improving ETF economics, bringing further incentive to push ETH ETF as institutional asset allocators increase digital asset exposure. It will be so much easier to sell an ETH ETF if it comes along with this yield that could look really, really nice. Getting that yield, and obviously the devaluing dollar is not going to be holding up as good as some of these blue chip cryptos from everything I've looked at over the years. And with you guys, I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Higher ETH adoption among institutions. We are definitely seeing that. And then they go into some price targets here. I always take these with kind of a grain of salt, these random lines. So maybe not so random, but you could always cherry pick the data you want to look at. So I'm actually going to not be looking at this particular chart and diving into it during this video, but just looking down here at the RSI and this time scale that they have here, it's looking like it's right in the middle. So really kind of a gamble if you're more of a short-term trader. I definitely see the potential for downside as well as upside. I believe the current, it's actually listed right here. The support in this fair value gap is for Ethereum is between 3159, like EIP 3159, and $3,257. not drastically lower than where we're at, but of course these support levels could easily be broken, just like resistance levels can. Still waiting for Ethereum to break over $4,000 and stay there. Aim for $5,000 plus, catch up to all-time high for itself, unlike Bitcoin, which has already hit its old all-time high and looks ready to probably resume higher in probably a few months' time, I would imagine, really to stay there settling. I did want to mention this. So where is it? Yeah, whatever. So if you are a member of the ETH Finance subreddit, where a lot of price discussion happens, actually so much technological discussion, a lot of the OGs in Ethereum and even in crypto overall kind of have resided in the ETH Finance subreddit as a place to kind of congregate, talk about what's coming up, share price predictions. Highly have recommended that daily discussion for you guys to check it out over the years, but it is now being merged with the Ethereum community. So there was ETH Finance that came out of the ETH Trader community. Now it's going to be merged, or has merged as of today, with the Ethereum community. So if you're still going to be looking for that daily discussion, you're going to want to head over to the Ethereum Reddit. And previously, you haven't really been able to talk about price too much on the Ethereum Reddit. So this is kind of opening that door for more people to get engaged if that's what they want to do. And kind of emerging the communities that happen in a wholesome way between the moderators. I like this comment by Concerned Customer 33 that I wanted to share with you guys, posted on the new Ethereum daily discussion. Why my heart belongs to Ethereum, he writes. Greetings, Ethereum. Over the years, I've taken my self-appointed role as ETH Finance tutelary very seriously. I don't comment often, but I'd like to think I've played a part in shaping the ETH Finance ethos and in helping our community navigate various challenges. I am tremendously grateful to Ethereum, which has transformed my life for the better since 2017. Given my patience and my expertise in economic decision analysis, I've always found the crypto game easy. If I wanted to be evil, he writes, I'd be a supremely competent villain. That said, I much prefer supporting efforts to make the world a better place. He seems like he's probably like some sort of white hat hacker. That's what my suspicion would be here. Not that he's trying to like destroy the world with his evil laugh from his crazy crypto earnings. The beauty of Ethereum is that I don't have to choose between being positive sum oriented and enhancing my financial freedom. I imagine you were folks thinking that's easy for you to say. You had years to buy under $300. Fair enough. But I remain very confident in ETH's ability to deliver big gains given time for the speculative process to play out. At the risk of oversimplifying a complex phenomenon, ETH makes you wait because it's the obvious choice as a backbone of the internet of value. The crypto market is ruthless. I don't have to tell many of you guys that. And if you're new, well, strap in, guys. Please be safe. It's always been my goal with this channel to make sure that you guys have a source for the discussions that I think are very pertinent to you, to make sure that you're not getting scammed, to make sure you know what players are a little riskier to get involved with. Of course, I've made my own mistakes over the years, and I hopefully will, carry those lessons forward into sharing that, like such with Celsius and Alex Mashinsky. I have apologized for even putting him on the show twice, I believe it was. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be difficult, but I've definitely learned my lessons, and I hope you guys have had too, and have had that experience of lessons and are willing to share that with people. I know that's what I want to do, is continue to help you guys do well. The most people that can. So where were we? The crypto market is ruthless. If the whales and AI bots can milk you one more time, they will. They'll nibble at your conviction until you give in to the liars and the bullies on crypto Twitter. That's CT for those. That's what CT means. Crypto Twitter, basically Twitter, but you just hang out with the crypto people. That's what I do. I have never used Twitter or X or whatever you call it for anything besides crypto, which is awesome because I love my feed. It's just crypto all the time. That's the only account that I have, and it makes it really easy for me to bring you guys value through that by kind of sifting away a lot of the noise. That's why I do that. They'll push the ratio until 2019-2020 accumulators get nervous. So this is talking about pushing the price down to that point where these recent accumulators kind of get scared. They haven't been through this ride before. They sell, and then, of course, the price snaps back. I'm sorry about that. there will be market panics and liquidation cascades. Then, just when the obvious gold standard looks more like a shit standard, the dam will break. Trends stretch too far will snap back. Network growth and technical progress will become undeniable. A few major defectors will bet against the bearish consensus, and the anti-ETH chorus will turn on a dime. Influencers will claim they saw it coming. All-time high will come and go, and everyone will get excited about the march to 10K and beyond. 25K in 2025 could easily become reality. This is for Ethereum he's talking about, if you're just tuning in. Something that rhymes with the above is likely, but I can't predict when it will happen. If you want real gains from the obvious play, you have to be patient. While you wait, accumulate ETH, explore the ecosystem, and follow along in the daily. The community has the best SNR in crypto. Please join us and help keep it that way. I do hope that this daily discussion stays such a wholesome place. My fear would be that it doesn't. The moderators get power hungry like I've seen on some other subreddits, and it kind of shifts the narrative, this discourse, and splits the community. I really hope that this works out for the Ethereum finance and Ethereum communities. But so far, it looks like it will be, just looking at this discussion here. And if you guys want to know, I'll give you kind of my thoughts on where we're at in this market cycle, probably towards the end of this video, so stay tuned yourselves. Hopefully this is like one of the last times I'll have to show his face here on the channel. So according to Cointelegraph here, 19 days until Gary Gensler, current SEC chair, steps down under the new administration. President-elect Donald Trump has nominated Paul Atkins, a pro-crypto candidate, to replace Gary Gensler as SEC chair, which we discussed a little bit, I believe, in my last video. But really, I just wanted to show you this because if I was going to show a picture of Gary Gensler, look at this one. Points to you guys if you can guess what show that is. Oh, dang. I was trying to record the video in the background, but it looks like I ran out of disk space. But whatever, at least the stream is going good. That was just in case things failed. Hopefully everything is great with you guys. I haven't even looked at the chat. I apologize. Hey, Mr. Orange, Happy New Year to you. Surge, long time indeed. Did I interview? Yeah, I did do an interview with Daniel Jones and Richard Hart back in the day. I believe that was like 2019. Yeah, it was like right before COVID or during COVID. That was a really good one. And it should still be available if you go to Odyssey and you look up crypto or crypto's news. I believe it's crypto, CRYPT0 on Odyssey, which was previously the library or from the library blockchain. And my videos should all be backed up there if you guys do want to go back and kind of check them out. They should be available to you. Let me know if you have any trouble. Maybe leave me a comment under this video once it's live, or if you can right now, and I will try to get that link out for you if you want to check that out. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, Nix Ops, super smart, hackery, tinker in blockchain, super brilliant guy, great to hang out with. And as you guys know, Richard Hart, also very understanding of crypto and how it works and the scene overall. And to see those two minds kind of duke it out, I thought it was great. It was, of course, meant to kind of discredit Richard Hart's projects, but I thought it was informative either way. I enjoyed my chat with Richard. My chats with Richard Hart. Got along with him pretty well, but yeah, I probably won't be interviewing him for a while, as you guys probably know. I wasn't going to cover in this video, but like Interpol is looking out for him. He's like on the top 10 most wanted list, I believe now. Like props. But he's a smart guy. I'm pretty sure he's probably done the facial reconstruction stuff and changed his face, and you know, I'm sure he'll be all right. But if he gets caught, I guess he'll probably be discussed on this show quite a bit more. Anyway, yeah, Gary Gensler, beautiful guy. He actually looks more handsome like this. Maybe he should gain some weight, right? So I think part of what we saw recently, we saw the S&P have like quite the down day recently, pretty much tech stocks as well. I think people are trying to figure out what this is. I think a lot of this is trying to really gauge what the federal funds interest rate will be through 2025 and moving forward. They were quite aggressive, I guess you could say, in lowering interest rates over this last year in 2024, but that does seem like it's going to be slowing down going into the new year, and I think that's what's giving risk markets hesitation primarily. But they're still coming down. So the daily federal funds rate right now, 4.33% as of December 30th, 2024. And you can also check the cmegroup.com and the Fed Watch tool so you can see what the bets are, the probabilities for the different interest rates over a certain time period. So you can see here 88.8% probability of being between 4.25 and 4.5 for this time period through January 25th, and then January 29th of 2025. Then by March, you can see that there is also the possibility it could go down to between 400 and 425 basis points. Unlikely to go much further, and it could pretty much stay at the same level as that January level, 50-50. And you can check this out throughout the whole year, but as you go forward, you can see that the bets are primarily to stay kind of around the level that we're at for an elevated amount of time. It looks like we'll most definitely drop like 500 basis points by about September, and by December, looks like 2, maybe 3 interest rate drops. So not as much as was expected this year. So I think that will be something that will kind of take away some of the fervishness that we'd seen, the frothiness in the markets recently, and has the potential that I think to, of course, impact projections on crypto as well. But for me, am I concerned about these numbers and what comes out of the Fed and these? No, absolutely not. We're talking about real money here. We're talking about people's real lives and understanding and a craving to understand Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which I'm seeing nowadays. Anyway, I'll get into that at the end of the video, as I mentioned, when I give you guys kind of what I think is going on here. Sorry, Wallace. I kicked Wallace. Have you guys seen Wallace? Come here, Wallace. Come here. You guys have not seen Wallace in a while, but he's doing really good. Kiwi's back there. Oh, he's so good. He's doing great. He's a good guy. He's waiting for his mother to get out of work. Got to go pick her up soon. Anyway, federal funds target range upper limit. So I went to the FRED, the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis charts, and pulled this one up for you guys. So this is showing the upper limit, like basically the interest rates over the years. This is going as far back as I could, which is December 16th, 2008. And you can see we were basically at zero all the way till 2016, right around when I kind of got into crypto. And even though they were going up, crypto was also going up over this time period. And then, of course, we got COVID. They went back down to basically zero, 0.25, the upper bound, so 0 to 25 basis points. Quite ridiculous. This is like putting Kindle into a fire of money printing. Well, yeah, of printing money. You guys get where I'm at. Huge catalyst to money printing going on with that. And we got all the way up to 5.5, stayed there for a while as we came out of COVID, and now dropping back, as you can see here. But we have quite a ways to go down to zero where we were at, and that's exactly where I think that the trajectory is headed over the next 5 to 10 years for sure. More likely, probably 3 years, I would assume we'll probably get there, but you do have to kind of look at what goes on in the big macro picture. We have to look at what kind of issues banks might be facing, what kind of credit insolvency things might be coming down the pipe. Right now, everything seems kind of calm, but that's exactly what happens before something major happens. If they do keep rates as high as they are, that could trigger something breaking and them lowering it quicker. So we'll just keep an eye on this. But yeah, just interesting to see how crazy interest rates have gone from where we were for such a long period of time. Again, this is only to 2008, and they don't want us to know what it looked like before that, I guess. And we do know about the GFC, the global financial crisis, that kind of prompted these low interest rates. But we know how just it was necessary, apparently, to stimulate the economy and not crash markets, along with other patches they had to do. But yeah, just a crazy shift from back then to where we're at now, and then where we're heading. It's so strange how they can try to pull the levers of the economy like this, all based on unfounded, I think, economic principles. Yeah, scary stuff. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry if I missed any of your comments. I will take a look at them. Of course, I read all of my comments, and I will check that out. But yeah, if I've missed you guys, what's up, Aussie Game of Crypto? If you're still here, Validator, ETH, Ken. Hey, if you watch this later, what's up, Ken? I see you're leaving here. Miles, yo, live and alive, live and alive in 25. Yes. Oh, in 25? Yes. In 25, in 2025. Yes. I don't know why that took me so long to get. I thought you were like turning 25 today. I was like, wow, what a coincidence that it's, no, he's talking about 2025. Anyway, yeah. Looking for group. All right. So, scammer here, another, a real scammer promised that his Terra Luna coin, in the Terra Luna ecosystem was going to be stable at $1. It had a peg to it, lied over years and saying that the peg would stay. Of course, that was a complete fraud. He has been granted extradition to the United States rather than being tried in South Korea. It looks like he has been held in Montenegro for months after being detained during an attempt to leave the country with a forged passport. I always got kind of the impression that he wasn't as bright as Richard Hart, but I digress. Anyway, he, of course, denied committing fraud. And this article here that I had pulled up was from Coinage. You might remember Coinage because I did post their video a couple of years ago, I believe it was, their 2-part video series where they interviewed him. And he just was really out of his element in that interview after the collapse happened and kind of trying to like play it cool, but it's not really going to work out for long, it looks like, for him. Bitcoin cap table for known entities. I want to share this. I found this here on Twitter. Bitcoin cap table update. This basically shows us these large known entities and what percentage of the Bitcoin total supply that they have. And it's a huge change from last year when you look at governments and how much crypto they have in their possession. Well, governments and MSTR, it says, and ETFs now account for 31% of all known Bitcoin holdings, up from 14% last year. So that's including MicroStrategy, governments, and ETFs together, which have become larger players in the Bitcoin ecosystem. But yeah, exchanges look like they were going to be the most powerful force right after miners, right? Early on, it was miners, then it became exchanges, and now you have these ETFs, governments, and even MicroStrategy who are taking a bigger and bigger piece of this. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to accrue these things out in the wild and to find them even liquid on exchanges. That's the kind of thing that I think pushes these assets up, and it just is like trying to get that seat at musical chairs in getting a piece of Bitcoin. And it just is unbelievable to me how people can have heard about Bitcoin and not have an interest. Usually it's necessity that will drive that again. And I think we are seeing that as more and more people feel pain. Heads up here, it looks like New Hampshire is becoming one of those places to live if you don't want to pay an income tax, joining places like Texas, like a state income tax, it is, and California. So effective today, New Hampshire's tax on interest and dividends income, the IND tax, will be repealed effective January 1st, 2025. So as a result, New Hampshire will officially join the ranks of states that do not levy an individual income tax at all. Really cool to see that. So that would be again, just another reason to want to live in New Hampshire if you are a crypto denizen. They're very pro-crypto, just like you're seeing in Wyoming with Cynthia Loomis, who is the one behind that bill, the strategic Bitcoin reserve that will be paid for by selling the U.S. gold and so on. And also I had read it would be part of Trump's plan, apparently, and promises for what he wants to do with his pro-crypto administration, that basically within 60 days of getting in office, he's going to be making a council, a pro-crypto council. And what was the other one? No, there's quite a bit. I'm gonna have to pull that up next time for you guys. There were like 10 of them, and I don't want to just speak out of my hat here, but it does look like he does want to make it so that, for example, the U.S. does not sell crypto when they confiscate it from bad players, whatever that may be, to the U.S. Rather than auctioning them off, they would hold them and put them in the reserve, so something else, trying to make sure that this is the number one place for Bitcoin and crypto mining. Yeah, you can see why people were getting really excited about that. So this is showing, I love a lot of Lynn Alden's work. I've watched a lot of her interviews over the years, highly recommend them on various channels. But yeah, deposits, all commercial banks going up and gotten steeper recently, still continuing that trend, not going back to baseline. So more and more money in the banking system. Total public debt exploding even higher in millions of dollars, not looking like it's going back. And consumer price index, CPI, for all urban customers, all items in US city average, also spiked up and seems to be continuing that trajectory. She wrote, none of the major nominal measures will get back to the pre-2020 level. A permanent ratchet up in money, debt, and prices. Can't stop, won't stop. Yep, that's what we're talking about, why we should be in crypto. But you first have to understand crypto, right? And that doesn't mean like trying to understand what Pepe coin is. If you have folks trying to ask you these days, like they want to get involved, they want to understand these things, they heard about this coin, I still always recommend they start off with Bitcoin. Understand Bitcoin, the blockchain, and maybe read Creature from Jekyll Island. Definitely get your head around fractional reserve banking and how the Federal Reserve was born and how it operates and how it inspired all the other reserve banks for the most part. And I think that Bitcoin will seem obvious. And then from there, you can start to understand smart contracts, Ethereum, and then you can really move on. But you really have to kind of grab those ideas first before you can understand your place in all of this as a citizen of the wait. So Bruce Fenton, he had this in response to the news recently that the U.S. Treasury was hacked by China through third-party links to the U.S. Treasury. Breaking reports indicate that the U.S. Treasury computers have been hacked. Experts were worried that this could be used as an exploit to print unlimited fiat dollars and give to cronies, but then realized this is the same as standard U.S. policy anyway. Zing. Love it. Bitcoin returns since 2010 here by Charlie Bilello. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, I've shown this kind of thing before. This is an update as of yesterday, 2024. Still seeing these massive gains in Bitcoin returns. Most years in the green. It still just makes no sense, in my opinion, to have zero allocation here in Bitcoin. Start from something, $5, $10, and then be surprised, right? And I think this is going to continue. This is something that's going to continue. Bitcoin obituaries, so how many times Bitcoin has died. And as Jameson Lopp put here, rest in peace, Bitcoin obituaries, because less and less articles are being written in even like, especially the mainstream articles, right? Mainstream news that Bitcoin is dead. I mean, it's a joke to even write that these days. You're not even seen as a serious journalist if you write that, I don't think. And that is dying away, which kind of sucks, right? I think I would like to see more of that so we could have like the push and pull, but it's funny. People are finally realizing it isn't going to go anywhere. Cointelegraph had posted this. This was at the Deal Book Summit by the New York Times, and this was Larry Fink speaking at a fireside chat. He is the CEO of BlackRock, which is now becoming super welcoming to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, how they can benefit them. But yes, BlackRock, huge player in so many, the valuing of securities worldwide, I would say. Just check it out for yourself.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities.
Just again.
We will, and if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
You know, and you might be one who would say, well, what is going to benefit? What token is going to benefit from this? And I think the obvious one is Ethereum. Just saying that one, obviously, it's just got the biggest developer mindset behind it. It's got the most incumbent place on so many different platforms. You even hear that Trump himself has a huge amount of Ethereum. You see also that it is way ahead of something like perhaps Bitcoin, which is getting ready to launch in a more serious way from what I'm seeing. Layer 2 possibilities, Bitcoin ordinal NFTs, and more smart contract like tooling for Bitcoin. I think it's really far behind something like Ethereum, which continues to push the bleeding edge with this new upgrade coming out within the next few months, hopefully, for example. So I firmly believe BlackRock would first go to Ethereum for something like tokenizing of securities. And the tokenizing of securities has just been one of those promises of Ethereum since early on that I think is going to bring so much massive value that I don't think you're going to want to be. I know for myself, I want to have some, right? As I hear someone like Larry Fink talking about this, getting him excited to be possible. And he's someone who can push regulations in certain ways and make the market in his favor, let's just say. And I think you would have Ethereum as a beneficiary of that, and probably ultimately maybe Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies potentially as well. But I think the first one would be Ethereum. I love this meme here. I think it describes mining so easily. Again, just stuff for newer people into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to kind of wrap their heads around things work, especially now, like mining. I was trying to figure out the profitability of mining here with my 3080 Ti when I'm not using my studio computer, right? Let me see how much I can make. And it looks like, no, looking at electricity prices, I can't make money on Monero. I can't make money on Beam, Grin, Caspa, you name it. I just kind of wanted to check that out. So yeah, for the average person, I wouldn't say that solo mining really works. And so therefore, the average person isn't really hearing much about how mining works and isn't really messing with it themselves because it's just not profitable when you check out most mining profitability calculators that are out there right now, such as the one on cryptocompare.com. Shout out CryptoCompare for the work on that calculator that I've used since like 2015. But yeah, how Bitcoin mining works. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10 to the 22nd power. If you guess the number, then you win 3.125 Bitcoin. That's like way harder than even the lottery. Sounds good. Just power up a bunch of these different ASIC miners for Bitcoin. But yeah, that basically explains what it is. You just guess, your computer guesses a number because no person is going to do that. I guess you could theoretically do that, but yeah, it's just complicated to try to push that yourself. How many lifetimes would that take to figure out? But anyway, yeah, that's how you get those Bitcoin. And that continues to work as expected. And I'll finish with our quote of the day as we do. But yeah, no, before I do that, I was going to tell you guys about what I kind of feel where we're at in the market. So looking basically at the messages that I'm getting, looking at the mainstream news, looking at people that are like, hey, I know you know about Bitcoin, or hey, thank you for telling me about Bitcoin. It changed my life, that I'm seeing more and more kind of spring up when you see during like the bear market, you don't get those messages. People just disappear, they ghost. And then when we begin going up, most people are just not paying attention. But now when I start hearing about people saying, hey, I'm really serious, I want to learn about this Bitcoin thing and getting into cryptos, that is something that's telling me that we're probably getting close to a top for retail. Now, that doesn't, I think, mean that we're going to necessitate a crash here, right? Like what had caused some of the prior crashes? So we had like Mt. Gox, that exchange going down, that caused a massive crash early on. Then we saw bugs that happened around 2016 that caused issues and fear around the market and certain exchanges, and concerns around liquidity with exchanges like Bitfinex. That caused some fear, some of it definitely warranted, but it was paid back by Bitfinex, for example, in that particular case. So that kind of worked out, which fueled into 2017. But what kind of stopped that rally was definitely, like, I would say, retail frothiness. Just a massive explosion in retail. But we didn't have like ETFs. We didn't have government players. We didn't have MicroStrategy with their diamond hands back then, having a larger pie of the overall share of cryptos, what you had was a lot of early players. You had miners, you had enthusiasts who wanted to take a profit on the backs of a lot of retail. And I guess you had a lot of these ICOs as well, right? So you had a lot of these scam projects making promises about anything. We're going to tokenize, I don't know, we're going to tokenize dog treats and dog treat accountability across the blockchain, and just not actually coming forth and producing anything of value besides a white paper that got people to invest money. And then that eventually became like pre-ICO, so you couldn't even buy in unless you were an accredited investor. But that came even after you had like backdoor deals to influencers and people behind the scenes and financiers who in 2017 I saw in a big way start getting involved and trying to become the big market players with their own projects and trying to like look like they're the kings of this space that they just discovered. And all this getting dumped on retail who bought late. In this particular case, retail, I think, is a little bit late, of course, to governments and all of this. And I don't know how much of an impact retail will have on the overall price movements. Of course, I think I could be surprised. But I still think that now, like, retail just selling off is not something that's going to be very, very easy to happen because you don't have ICOs at this time. You don't have anything like NFTs that are the main kind of focal point. The main focal points that you're seeing right now with retail, at least at this particular time, is in interest overall in the space and trying to protect their wealth. They're hearing more about inflation. They're trying to understand inflation. And what better place in the crypto space? I don't think that there is another avenue to really get your head around the big picture than really getting involved in crypto on a deep level. So I don't think that we're going to, for example, exchanges, right? They're so much more heavily regulated these days. It's so much more difficult for me as a U.S. citizen to use many exchanges, right, around the world, or for people around the world to use U.S. exchanges. It's become siloed in a way that I think would make a huge catastrophic loss unlikely at this particular time for any reason that I could see at this time. A lot of the nefarious players who were like the superstars of last runs have been arrested, have fled, have gone quiet. The fields are green. Right now they're blossoming. And so I don't see how we could see a dip anytime soon. But I also, on the flip side, and I think it could go way up here now that you're seeing ETFs and governments and companies like in Japan. I had seen like there's this major company, I can't recall the name right now, but they're trying to be like the MicroStrategy of Japan. They had just said they already have billions in Bitcoin and they're inspiring other Japanese companies to do the same. So we're just starting here with these treasuries of Bitcoin that will become treasuries for other coins as well as years play out. And that would be the ultimate crash, I would say. Would be probably like some sort of MicroStrategy, right? Being insolvent, that I think would be really catastrophic. Or seeing like a Coinbase go down, which I just don't see happening at this time, especially as liquidity is just opening up like floodgates right now. So on one side, I see the frothiness. I see retail getting involved. But to me, looking at the overall big picture, that is not an imminent reason for concern for me. So for me, 2025 looks like it's going to be a great year. And I'm so looking forward to being here with you guys, covering the good days and the bad days as I get ready to do a lot more videos and a lot more content with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this new video. I had to get the studio back together, fix my computer because I had like pulled a cord off of my graphics card. Had to clean this place up a bit, but here we are in 2025 fresh, and I couldn't be more excited to bring you guys crypto news on the daily as much as possible. So stay tuned, guys. Remember to subscribe, hit like, and share these videos or sections of videos with those that you love. I look forward to catching you guys again. Take care. Much love. Oh, and our quote of the day. If you believe it will work out, you will see opportunities. If you believe it won't, you will see obstacles.